Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the unhinged response from the UK press as it concerns Meghan's decision to choose peace as opposed to attending the Coronation, where she would undoubtedly be picked apart by the UK press and have to deal with just unpleasant and hostile in-laws. So let's get into it. The past two videos we've talked about the cycle of derangement when it comes to the UK press, discussing Harry and Meghan's possible attendance to the coronation. And of course, now we know that it's been decided by Harry and Meghan that Harry would attend and Meghan and the children would remain in California. Now, as far as I can see, Harry will only be attending the main ceremony at Westminster Abbey and then returning home to California. Given the time difference, it's still possible for him to make it back in time towards the end of the day for Archie's birthday celebrations. So we're wishing Harry a speedy and safe trip and return trip home ASAP. Now, the responses were interesting. Some of it was surprising to me, some of it not so much. Now, personally, I kind of wish that neither of them would have gone because I feel like Harry's father has just been absolutely negligent in offering any sort of assistance to Harry and Meghan. The fact that he took the security and couldn't even be bothered to answer the phone. Like, there's just so much stuff that Charles has done that I can never ever look at him in a positive light. You know, even when jokes were made about Archie being compared to a primate, Charles, who talks about diversity and racism all the time, has to this day remained silent when his blood, his kin, an innocent child, is attacked with so much racism. So I don't respect him, and I think he's full of crap. Now, if you've read Spare, then you know that Harry obviously loves his father, and he said, I want a family, not an institution. So it's really not surprising to me that Harry would go. He is still His Royal Highness Prince Harry. I mean, they've chosen not to use it, but he still very much is His Royal Highness. He is still in the line of succession, and so is his children. Also, when they made the announcement of choosing to have Lili and Archie use their prince and princess titles, I figured that this would sort of be an indication that it's very likely that he would attend. Also, he's still a counselor of state, and I think people forget about that. So, as with this family, it's incredibly layered. So, I get why he's going. Wish him a safe travel, but the rest of it, I really don't care. Now that Meghan's not going, I will be watching the coronation. We'll have a video on it and we'll talk about it, but I'm not going to be getting up early to check this out. I am not that invested.
Breaking news in the royal world. Princess Meghan is not going to the coronation party. I personally am very happy that she's not going back to that circus. Harry himself is only going to the Westminster part of it to see his father actually crowned, but for the rest of that shit show, he won't be attending. And while I'm sure at first copycat Kate will be very excited that she doesn't have to compete with Princess Meghan, her actual problem is going to be front and center. The press have been openly fantasizing for months about how badly the Sussex would be treated if they did go to the coronation, but they overplayed their hand. The last person in that Machiavellian family that Meghan had any real respect for died in September. I honestly think she's done. She's done with the whole group, with the whole institution. I think moving forward, we'll only see Meghan in the UK for her events, her charities, her causes. And honestly, same with Harry. I can't imagine him attending many more royal events after this. Be careful what you wish for, British press.
I'm about to go food shopping, but I want to quickly talk about this. First of all, this is like peak TikTok, but also something I thought of. In his memoir, Spare, Prince Harry talks about when Meghan is really, really struggling. Her mental health is incredibly bad. And it's on a night where they have to go to an event. And instead of focusing on what she needs, he is in royal mode of, well, we can't not show up to this event. We have to think of optics. We have to think of what the media is going to say. And he kind of puts on that royal hat first, feelings, loved ones second. And he talks about how he really regrets that. So I see him attending the coronation alone as learning a lesson from that experience. That boundaries and mental health are far more important than the optics. Not to mention, there was going to be negative pieces if they all decided to attend, if they all didn't decide to attend. This kind of half in, half out, shall we say, way of attending the coronation. There's going to be negative pieces no matter what. And in some ways, by deciding not to attend, Meghan has taken some of the power away from people that are going to write stories about her being there, make her the focus of attention, and then subsequently blame her for taking attention away from King Charles. There was no winning here. But this actually really forces the media to focus on anything else but Meghan, because to focus on Meghan during the coronation would honestly be laughable. She's not going to be there. Not saying they won't find a way, but I think this is kind of a way of being like, you're not going to make money and headlines off of me. I am not going to be there to let you do it. All in all, I think this was probably the best case scenario.
So I'm very happy that Meghan and the children won't be going. That was my main concern, and now I can move on from that.
Markle decided to keep her Sky Miles for trips she actually wants to take to see people she actually likes, and will not be attending King Charles Spaniel's coronation. And this is a great example of managing toxic family relationships. She's not keeping Harry from his family. She's like, you can go see your tampon-loving father, your descendant of hoes, horse-faced stepmama, your rosebush-smelling brother, and his long-suffering wife. I just will not be there. Am I sad we're not going to get fashion looks? A little bit, yeah. But she's not going to give Saltine Island and the tabloids what they want. Pictures of her and pictures of her children. Because even in grief, Saltine Island is mean to her. Because they always say they don't want to see her. But nothing makes your haters madder than when you actually pay them dust. And those wafer cookies over there are upset. Denying people access to you is the best revenge.
It's interesting to see that a lot of people who are Harry and Meghan fans were very angry at Harry's decision to go and attend the coronation. Now, I've seen comments from people ranging from, how dare he, this is disrespectful to Meghan. Some people saying, oh, it's so disappointing. Harry's giving Charles and the institution exactly what they want, which is just him and Meghan and the kids far, far away. Some people are saying Meghan should change the locks. Like someone even said like she should divorce him. Like people were really, really pissed off at Prince Harry. That was a surprise to me. So you guys let me know, what do you think? Are you good with the decision? Are you not good with the decision? Do you understand, where they're coming from? Do you think it's a good compromise? Let me know in the comments below.
Can I ask you about very quickly, both of you? Harry today is coming to the coronation. Meghan is not. James Whale.
Now, listen, your producer said to me yesterday, he said, don't shout too much and don't get too... I'm going to take it nice and easy and gentle. Harry is King Charles's son. Why would he not want him at the coronation? And you, and I have to say Mr. Parry when he's around, and that flipping Piers Morgan as well, continue, I'm not frightened of him, continual beasting of this poor guy and his wife. Why? Leave him alone. If you don't want to give him publicity, don't talk about him. Wow, it's put me in my place from the ledge, Ava.
I have also seen that a lot of people, and I was surprised by that, but a lot of people were so happy and relieved. They're like, thank God, Meghan is not going. Don't do it, girl. Don't do it. And we see a lot of the video from the morning period and Meghan just looking really terrified and skittish during that walkabout. Like, to this day, it still makes me so sad and angry that she has to deal with this crap from this crappy family. But again, I'm just glad that she's not putting herself through that.
I think Meghan's decision to say no to the most powerful family in Britain and say no to the most talked about party in town is both admirable and inspiring. What Meghan is basically doing is she's exercised the power of no that comes from a place of self-worth, growth, maturity, and self-preservation.
But do you think she might have sensed she wasn't welcome? So really it's more that she's been pushed out rather than...
No, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case because there are many factors here. I think that any wife out there who have bad in-laws like Meghan has with the royal family can deduce that Meghan has just drawn the line in the sand and she's basically saying, I will attend royal events, but on my own terms. And what is more powerful is that Meghan is saying to the entire world, you know what? I am rejecting any notion that because I'm married into the royal family, I should be subject as bait for toxicity, rage, and abuse. She's saying to society as a whole, you don't get to tell me who I should be.
I've even seen some entertainment magazines really going out there and supporting Meghan and saying, yes, queen, protect your peace, say no to toxic family, say no to hostile environments, focus on your mental health. So it's been very refreshing to see the overwhelming positive response to Meghan's decision to say thanks, but no thanks. Also, it's interesting to see some of the royal reporters admit that, well, number one, they're not very excited about the upcoming coronation for Charles and Camilla.
200, it doesn't show great enthusiasm.
Okay, which of us round this room, which of us is actually excited? I'm going to just say I'm actually not excited.
I'm not excited about it. I find it really difficult, I'm not...
Where's the glamour? There's no glamour, is
Charles
really?
and Camilla, I mean, they
yeah,
very excited.
I'm excited for the amount of work we're going to get around it. Like, for my own
I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
Keep winning this.
But think about all the acts that are performing as well. They could have been acts that were doing it like 20 years ago. So many people, modern acts, turned down the opportunity to perform that.
People like Adele did. And just coming back to Kevin, your point about the level of scrutiny on the procession, one of the reasons, so the sort of subtext of that is they were worried again about booers along. They wanted to keep the procession short so that the crowds would be bigger, and also the fact, they are basically Catholic, and they're going down the same route and then back up the same route. So the same people are going to see the royal couple twice.
Oh, not again!
It's going to be really ridiculous, I think.
Also, a talking point some of them have decided to take up was that, Meghan's scared of getting booed. But baby, Meghan and Harry really haven't been getting booed in the way that the rest of the British royal family members have been getting booed. Let's not forget that someone told Kate that, Ireland is for the Irish or something like that on a trip. Let's not forget for that Commonwealth service, each and every one of the senior working royals were booed by the protesters holding their Not My King signs. Let's not forget that William and Kate, they were booed by a stadium full of people during their Boston visit. Let's not forget that William was booed by a stadium full of people over there in the UK. It was one of the football games. I can't remember which one. But overall, they have been getting a lot of hostility from people within the UK. Charles and Camilla especially. Not only can they not go a month without getting protesters and boos, they've been egged. On more than one occasion, plural. So for them to try to say, well, Meghan's scared of getting booed. The only people getting booed are your people. That they try to pretend that that's not the case, but we know better. Also, it's interesting that they're losing their minds over two Americans choosing to say, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I'm not coming to this. Meghan and President Biden, who is currently in Ireland. And he is getting the rock star treatment over there. I mean, you're seeing crowds of people gathered around the streets with their American flags, just like waving and being happy and cheerful, and he's eating it all up. He's given them as much good cheer and positivity as they are given to him. And let's just be a little petty for a moment. Biden is bringing in crowds that Charles and Camilla wish they can get. But there's a level of gaslighting and manipulation. You see the Sun having this front page saying that the king was there for you. Girl, where? Where? The man who pulled the security off of her husband? The man who said that he didn't have enough money even though they get over 100 million pounds from taxpayers? And he is independently wealthy? The headline basically says, you know, Meghan to miss Coronation, the king was there for you, so sad you can't make it for him. And there's this photo of him walking her down the aisle, which we know he only did that for some good PR, and has proceeded to squander the goodwill and good PR from that little performance. But it's funny that a lot of people are not swayed by that. And when you go under the comment sections, there's a lot of people who are defending Meghan. And I've definitely noticed a shift. You guys let me know if you've seen the same. Then there are articles saying, you know, oh, well, Meghan is putting Archie and Lilibet first ahead of her royal duties. And we're like, royal duties? She left 3 years ago. Because you people drove her out of that country. Royal duties? I thought you said she's not a real royal. Pick a lane and stay in it. Then there was these very idiotic stories coming out. Like, I don't know which camp it is, if it's Charles and Camilla or if it's from Kensington Palace, but these little bits that they're talking about coming from Kate makes her look like a bully. And it doesn't make her look good at all. I don't know if you guys saw, but there was this article in the Daily Mail where Robert Jobson essentially said that Kate said that the walkabout with Harry and Meghan was one of the hardest things she's ever had to do in her life. And honey, she was dragged, like mercilessly dragged on a global scale from people saying, like, how out of touch can you be to say something like that? Like, you're saying that you're not a bully and that you're the future Queen of England and you're above the fray and, you know, the dignified silence nonsense. But then you're saying that one of the hardest things you have ever had to do is walk beside a woman of color? Like, do you not see how bad that looks for you? Not for Meghan, for you?
Kate found Windsor Walkabout with Harry and Meghan after Queen's death one of the hardest things she'd ever had to do because of the ill feeling between the couple, sensational new book reveals. This right here is to take away from this. That's just my opinion. Whether it's true or not, it is to take the edge off of this to continually make the Sussexes, and more specifically Meghan, the villain. This is classic WG syndrome. I'm not going to say the entire phrase, but it's pretty much when a woman of a certain race is victimized over a woman of a minority, making her the aggressor. What I find quite interesting is the fact that the Princess of Wales told a senior royal, apparently, how difficult it was for her, and yet that senior royal went and leaked this to an author? Does Buckingham Palace not realize exactly what this means? what this looks like. You can punch it up for a day walking next to somebody who you have benefited from press-wise was difficult. It amazes me how people talk about the Sussexes, as quoted in this article, blistering attacks against the royal family. The press is adamant on making them the bad people and keeping them the bad people, which is why every lawsuit that the Sussexes win is actually a win. At this point, the royal family has literally just confirmed they release and leak information, but they are so scared of Harry and Meghan doing it. Quite frankly, I am sick of the drama. It's been going on since 2016, and as I've said before and I will say again, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is a very strong woman. She is a woman of many accolades. Accolades she accomplished prior to marrying into the royal family. And when you are as successful as you are prior to marrying into the royal family, and that effectively upstages what would be the future queen, and especially a woman of color, they will try to put you down a few pegs. In order to do what? Lift her up. This was the hardest thing she had to do. It's pathetic and weak. And for Buckingham Palace to not even refute these claims, quite interesting. Comment your thoughts below. Bye.
So dragged, like there are tags or threads of people on social media responding with some of the hardest things that they've ever had to do. And some people are talking about, losing a job, losing loved ones to cancer, like really serious, heartbreaking stuff in comparison to Kate's, oh my God, I'm a 40-year-old mother of 3 who lives off the money of taxpayers with multiple taxpayer-funded mansions. But, the hardest thing I've had to do while my husband is mourning the death of his grandmother and the great-grandmother of my children is to walk beside my sister-in-law. Like, really? Now, some people have theorized that, they're hoping that Kate didn't actually say that. That, Jobson is making it up. And there we go again. The people who are always so quick to say, well, we shouldn't believe that Kate said that because we didn't hear it from her. But they're also very quick to believe every negative thing that's said about Meghan all the time. Also, the fact that Meghan has chosen not to go really flies in the face of all of the haters who love to say that, she's attention seeking. She needs to be around the royal family to make herself relevant. She loves the attention. She craves it. She needs it. It makes them look stupid because this is one of the biggest events for Charles's reign, right? And Meghan is choosing to not only not go, but not have her kids go. And like a day before it was released that Meghan's not going, there was this girl, what's her name? Kinsey Schoolfield, I believe. Like, this girl is such a troll. And every time she makes claims about Meghan, it's sort of like karma comes around and proves her nonsense claims to be just that. Like, she's like, oh my God, Meghan has to go. She's definitely gonna go because she needs the attention. Looking like a clown when it's revealed that Meghan's not going. And a lot of people were pointing it out to her. And as soon as the announcement came out that Meghan wasn't going to go, she changes her tune to, oh my God, Meghan should go. She should suck it up and be there to support Harry. Girl, shut up. Now, there are some really great articles coming out in support of Meghan. And there's one in particular that I really wanted to share with you guys. I'll link it in the description below if you want to check it out. The article is entitled, Snubbing King Charles's Coronation is Meghan Markle's Smartest Move Yet. By staying at home, people in the media who hate her will lose out the most. The thing that most people can't get their heads around is that most people would do anything to be a part of that elite circle. And that's what people find mind-boggling, especially about her. That she would get the golden ticket into a world of wealth, status, and privilege, and choose to walk away? Who does that? Well, Someone who is incredibly strong, knows her self-worth in terms of her mental health and boundaries, and has the self-confidence to know she can make it on her own. I think that's why so many people hate her, because we've all had moments in our life where we wanted to be that person but couldn't afford it, or needed a job, or dreamed of it. Many people resent her because she has the means and the balls to do it. She also had the courage and audacity to take on the most powerful establishments on the planet and call out bullying and toxic behavior towards her. All this as a mixed-race American divorcee from a modest background. A woman who should have been grateful, not the person who took them on and left on her own terms defiantly. She was meant to disappear with shame, not carry on having a voice and agency over her life. She disrupted the fairy tale narrative about being a princess and exposed it for what it really is. A lonely, subservient, controlled human mannequin. She also shone a harsh light on how the myth of the royal family struggles with real scrutiny in a modern, multicultural, changing world.